Good morning. Let me see if I can get up here. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Okay. My internet is, I say this every week, and I swear every week it's getting worse. So if we have any glitches or it starts, getting wonky and maybe freezing, please let me know because I'll go straight to data. They're not even working outside today, so I literally have no idea. Good morning, Kathy, Joy, and Sherry. I have no idea why the internet is probably at its worst than it has been since they've been working, and they're not even working. So I literally have no idea what is going on, but it's horrible. My computer kept freezing, and I say this every week, and every week it's just getting worse. Good morning, Linda. Okay, so today, I know we've done baby blankets before, but I have not yet made one of these with the new whip stitching edge. So I wanted to try them, and let me tell you, I'm already loving it because it lays flat. Okay, where the other one always had that, it was a little bit wonky on the sides, like sometimes it would be tucked in weird along the binding and stuff. These are laying so flat. But I have a couple orders for baby blankets, and I really need to get them out the door. So I figured I would work on them today with you, and we're gonna try this one with the new edging and see how we like it. And I'm already loving it. But I've had a crazy morning to start. So good morning, Kathy. So I woke up this morning at 3 o'clock to go use the restroom. And I was kind of like having a bad night's sleep, but I woke up to go use the restroom, and my vertigo, I have vertigo, and it has kicked in like full force today. I'm not on meds for it, so that I don't really even have anything that I can use to help with it. But so basically what I'm doing today is just trying not to move too quick, shift my eyes. If you have vertigo, you know how all of that works with vertigo. It does not. So I'm trying to move a little slower, not shift my eyes as much. But 3 o'clock this morning, I almost was down and out in my bathroom, and I was like, whoa. So I've been fighting this vertigo all day. And I really don't like meds, so I try not to take meds, so I don't have any for vertigo. But let me tell you, today would probably be one of those days that I probably would be using something for it. So then I get to the shop. I'm already having just one of those days, right? Had to get up early and do some grocery shopping because we're literally, it is our month to host, well, our week to host. We have a Bible study in our home, and there's 12 of us, and we do different homes, and we're in the rotation, and today's the day. Even though I'm not there, my husband's hosting it. So I had to get food for it. So I got up at 7 o'clock. I was at the grocery store getting food, getting it prepped. Then I get to the shop here, and I'm like, okay, I need to get all my stuff printed. I need to get ready just for this and, get some things going. I was putting together a shelf, and lo and behold, I catch my thumb in the shelf when it clamped down, and the quickness is to pull it away. Well, I ripped a big old chunk. I actually thought I needed stitches, and that was only about an hour ago. And I couldn't get it to stop bleeding, so thank goodness I got it to stop bleeding, because I was like, I can't make anything if it's still bleeding, but it hasn't been, and it's not. So that's my morning. Yeah, vertigo. Oh, drink ginger ale. Oh, I have ginger candy. I did not know that. I keep it because sometimes I use it, the ginger candy. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I prefer not to take meds and things like that. So I try to use a little bit more, readily available, like supplements, things like that, holistic. So I will try that. Okay, so I actually have some baby blankets that I needed to do along with the pillow covers. So this is literally, I already pressed this morning. So this is the pillow cover that that people tend to order with these blankets just because they kind of match. And usually, here is a good upsell tip for, and when you upsell, you usually, you want to include something with it to try to get another sale with your sale. So whenever I get an order for my baby blankets, what I do is I usually offer a matching pillow cover. The pillow insert, I never include it unless they absolutely want it, then I'll include it for an additional charge. But I will usually offer a matching pillow cover with this. These are normally $20. I will let them get the bundle pack. I sell the blankets for $50. These are $20, but if they do it as a matching set, I will give it to them for $60. Okay, so I've really just that's right. 50 and 20, 70. And I give them $10 off if they do the matching pillow cover with the baby blanket. And believe me, they love that. I do have these pillow covers. If you've never used these are, let me get it closer for you. These are the burlap linen. And I usually only do it one-sided. Now they can do them double-sided if they want. Of course, I would charge more for it than if so. But this is the polyester linen. Love it. It's Sublimate, as you can see, beautifully. Okay. This is a 16 by 16 inch. You can choose which one you want to do. If you go that route with the baby blankets and then giving them an additional pillow for $10, which they love it. And I tend to get repeat buyers for those that are looking for baby shower gifts like that, new parents, things like that. I get a lot of repeat buyers on my baby blankets. Surprisingly enough, I was really surprised at that because I thought moms or grandmas would just be ordering it, but I don't. I get a lot of orders for baby showers coming up. Now they can't do something, obviously they wouldn't be able to do a birth stat for a baby shower, but I get a lot of just cute little baby blankets out, or new parents, and then they'll send them to the new parents. So I was surprised at that because I thought, that's just gonna be new parents and grandmas, but it's not. I get a lot of repeat buyers. So I do have this. This is a 16-inch in size. I do have these in my Etsy shop right now. Okay, and if you've never subbed on these, you're gonna love them. I have the 14-inch, and then I have the 11 by 18, which these are so nice. These, believe it or not, this oblong one, the rectangle one, this is my favorite. I love it just on porches, things like that. And then these are the inserts that I get for them. I just buy these right at Walmart. You can get them online, or ours literally has them all in stock on the shelves, including the oblong one. So I buy the inserts when I do them, and if I'm going to do like a vendor show or a craft show or anything like that, of course I'll stuff it so that people can see them. And then I would absolutely, I'm going to do a vendor show with my daughter in, I think it's August. And I'm going to have these baby blankets along with some of the pillows, and I am going to take orders for them at the vendor show, because these are something that you really couldn't do on site unless you were really gung-ho and taking your press. This is going to be an outdoor one, so I have before, so don't think that you can't take your press and your printer, because you can to vendor shows. But this one really is not going to be one like that. So I'm going to take my baby blankets and use that as a display. And then I'm going to take orders at the vendor show. Sorry, I have to keep coming up here. I can't see it. Okay, let me see. I'm missing something here, so hold on. Let me go back to some. Okay. Seriously, try it. Should I possibly help you? Yes. Okay. So if you're looking for the inserts for these are the only ones that I just use. Okay. And let me stuff this one real quick just to show you how nice they look when they are stuffed. And they're so easy, and I do not, with these, like I said, they're in my shop. I don't ever need to, like, sometimes I've had pillow covers where you have to put like paper in between them just to stop the printing from the other side. With these, you do not have to. The printing does not go through, okay? Not even on this. I know you can see through it, but it's not through the back. So it doesn't press from one side to another. So they're so super easy to do. Just for that fact, you don't have to shove paper in the middle of them. They don't stick together. Some of the pillow covers you have to watch because some of them melt together. These ones don't. These are absolutely my favorite ones. Super easy. The zipper's on the bottom, or you could put it on the top, but if you're pressing these, try to do it on the bottom. It's much better. And it's a hidden zipper. And these make it nice because I have these on my pillow, on my furniture at home, and you could take these off and wash them, so if the grandkids or the dogs or whatever get to it. But see how it's a hidden zipper? There it is. And I've washed these so many times. I don't suggest throwing them in the dryer. I just don't like how wrinkled they get in there. So I wash them, I bring them out, I let them air dry, and then I press them. Just stick them under your press, get them nice and, no, we don't need to do that. All right. Get them nice and pressed out. All right, so let's get started with this baby blanket. And I know we've done these before, but like I said, I really wanted to do it because of the whip stitching edge. Okay, so these are the baby blankets. There is Sherpa on one side, and this is like a really soft minky on the other side. And when you do them, you're gonna have to make sure that you brush or move your nap. When you go one way, you'll know you're going against it. You want to smooth it out. I don't press mine. As you can see, it's kind of wrinkled, unless it is so bad. I usually don't go in and feel the need for pressing. Not that you can't. And I might do that up in here where it gets really bad. But I lay the blanket out completely on a table. I do have a pressing pad under here. Everybody asks me every single time they see this, what is this? This is just an ironing pad. So you can get this on Amazon. I want to say it's about $20. It's called Whitmore, W-H-I-T-M-O-R, ironing pad. It literally can go, it has magnets on the sides, like 4 on each corner. And it's literally, you could stick it on top of your dryer, and people like iron. That's craziness to me, because who irons nowadays? I don't know anybody who irons nowadays. We just, you know, I have a steamer at home. If I have clothes that need ironed, I steam it. You know, it's easier to just be hung on in a hanger and you just go steam it. So the thought of ironing things is crazy to me. But this is all this is. It's just an ironing pad. And what it's doing, it's protecting my table, since this is on a table, and it's giving me that little bit of cushion that I need as well. So glad to see that I'm doing a blanket. Yeah, I've done several of them, but this is a new one. A new edging to these. So I'm really liking it because it's already starting to lay flat. All right, so you've seen the design I was going to use. This is the design, okay? And I know it looks, for those of you that are new here, this looks, you know, straight on to you, but this is actually mirror image because the camera mirrors things. All right, so this is mirror image. All I did was print out my design. This design is done 8 by 8 is what I did this design. You can do them 8 by 8, 9 by 9. Let me see. I'm trying to see what these are saying. Do your blankets sell well for you? Yes, I sell blankets very well. I have a few that I need to do now, so that's why I figured I will do one with you. And with the morning that I'm having, I'm just praying that this blanket turns out. Because believe me, I'm like everybody else. I mess up along the way. Even though I've done hundreds of blankets over the years. Okay, so print out. I'm doing this design in 12 by 12 or 8 by 8 on the baby blanket, which is a 30 by 40 size. So I printed out 12 of them is what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 across, 4 up, and I'll show you how I lay out mine. It's super easy. I just kind of get a general idea as to where these are going to go. And when I say general, and I do mean general just because I started out with the center row going up straight up the middle, okay? But I just want to kind of get that started. So I cut all of mine. Make sure when you do these, cut out, give yourself straight edging all around. Don't use scissors. One of the most important things I think when you're subbing is get yourself a good paper cutter, because the better you can make your prints that you're going to use, you're going to cut away the edges. I always cut away my edges on all of my papers, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes when mine feeds through, you know, I've used my printer thousands of times, and it might have bled a little bit, and sometimes that edge will catch it, and maybe it's somewhere in my inside of my printer. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes I'll get a little bit of edge on there, and it might have picked up some black ink that might have splattered inside or just got in there. So I always cut off my edges on every piece of paper that I do, every transfer, okay? Even if it's just a little tiny strip, I cut it off. So a paper cutter is very important. And then you always want to make sure your designs are cut nice and straight. It just helps you with lining up. Okay, when I was using scissors and stuff, I didn't have things, and I might have thought it was straight, but my cutting wasn't straight, and now I'm lining up my paper turned over, not necessarily trying to see the design through. Okay, so get yourself a good paper cutter. You can get that right off Amazon, right at Michael's. Doesn't matter, just get a good paper cutter and get yourself some straight cuts. So I'm just gonna give myself the 3 across here, and I'm already knowing that I have to adjust this because I don't have as much left over at the top as I do at the bottom. So let's pull this up a little so I can see it better. Do you use a rotary paper cutter? I do. I have the Carl, and I think it's K-A-R-L rotary cutter. I can bring it out and show you guys. That's my favorite, and I like the larger one because it does all of my 13 by 19. I used to have a small one that did 12 inch cuts, and it was never able to put my paper in it. My 13 by 19 sheets. Now I can, so I like the big cutter better. I want to say this one's a 15 inch. Okay, all right, that's perfect. Okay, perfect. So I don't know if you can see this, but I did my middle row straight up, and then I did my 3 across. And let me get my cutter so that you can see it. Sorry, I was getting a phone call, always, right? Actually, it's Carl, C-A-R-L, just spelled like the name. But this is the one that I use, and I love it. I used to have the 12-inch. This is the 15-inch. So I literally could put my 13 by 19 papers in here without any issue in getting them cut. The other ones I had to do sometimes a little bit of cutting and then put them in. Love this one. So I absolutely recommend that one. Okay, so now that I got this kind of like a upside down T, I know that my placement's pretty good, all right? I always start with the bottom center. So that's where we're gonna start. I'm gonna pick these up, and I'm just gonna move them up there because I'm gonna lay these out until I get this row done, okay? Until I get that upside down T done. And I am using heat tape on this. Oh, and you know what? Let me grab my lint roller. Sorry, I'm in my front room, so everything's in my back room. Okay, so of course I pushed all the nap up, all right? Because that's what I need, and I am gonna tape these just lightly on the corner, okay? And I am just using a tiny piece of tape because we don't need a lot, which, let me cut this one down. Some people complain that they get tape lines that don't come out, so we're gonna address that as soon as we do this, all right? So really you only need a tiny piece of tape because you just wanna secure this corner down. And we're gonna use we are not gonna heat press this with a big heat press. We're gonna do this the easy way, all right? So get yourself, I don't care if you do this on your table, just make sure you have this pad underneath to protect your table from warping because you're going to be applying heat to it. All right, so we tape that down, and I got butcher paper here. We're going to cover it with butcher paper, and we are going to use my favorite thing to do baby blankets with, the Cricut Easy Press, and this is the big one. Okay, that's hot, so let me pull these on. This is the 12 by 10 size, 10 by 12, 12 by 10, and you need to make sure that it is this one, the newer version one that goes to 400 degrees, because we need to do this 400 degrees. I'm going to do them for 45 seconds, so let me turn this down. Okay, so 400 degrees, 45 seconds. We are going to do each block. There's 12 blocks, okay? So these blankets should go very quickly. So when you do this, all right, let me move my table back. So sorry, but it might be shaking. I cannot find my extension cord. I moved around and cleaned the shop, and that's dangerous when I clean because I put things where I don't know where it's at. All right, so we're just gonna use this. We are gonna lay it, literally lay it on the design for 45 seconds. Okay. So super quick, super easy. You'll be surprised because I used to have to fight these blankets under my 15 by 15 press. And you know what that's like. You're rolling it up, you're fighting it, putting it, sticking it behind, things like that. You don't have to do that with this Easy Press. My internet keeps going off. All right, hold on. Let me. Okay. Sorry, I went straight. I'm straight on data now, so hopefully that's better. Okay. Well, I'm on straight data now. Is that okay? Can everybody see me? I'm not having any issues seeing you. Okay. Are we good? Give me a thumbs up. I'm straight data now, so I just cut up. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so all I did was just literally, I laid it on it, and then the trick is don't move it around, don't iron it, lay it on it, pull it straight up, okay? And then we are going to pull that off. And the trick to this is helping with those lines, getting those lines out. You can use a lint roller, but leave it cool for a second, because sometimes that ink, if you do that, it'll kind of, that ink's still a little hot and it moves. I just leave it cool for a second. And I do this, I take it and I'll roll it, and it helps to get those lines out. Okay. And if you don't have a lint roller handy, I literally have picked mine up and just flicked it and shaken it, okay? And it helps with those lines. All right. And I've not had any problems. I know some people say, oh, my lines, I've washed it, it doesn't come out, things like that. I've not had any problems with these blankets. Now, I can't tell you, you know, about the Walmart blankets or any other blankets. The blankets that I do have in my shop, I have this one in there, and then I have a pure white minky, which is literally just this topper here on both sides. I've not had any problems with the lines being in it. And I've made hundreds of these. Okay. Okay, here we are. Look at that. All right. So moving on. All right, so let's get back to fluffing this out. I am going to go straight up the middle now. Okay, now remember, these two are still on here. So I'm going to take my third one and I'm just going to put it down here and get this lined up again. And I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do this one next. I work my way up the center and then I'll work my way out. That way I give myself a good center line. Again, very little tape, because you really don't need much tape. And I just do my corners very lightly. Okay. A new piece of paper every single time. Do not reuse your butcher paper. And we're going to do the same thing straight down on the design. And let's hit that. And people ask me, does the ink come off if I overlap and hit the sublimation design, the one I've already pressed? I've not had issues with that. Okay. So sometimes you know, especially if you get a little bit bigger, you're kind of like hitting some of them. I've not had any problems with that. Not in these blankets where it looks different and some of the ink was taken off. I've not had that issue. Okay. And again, straight down, straight up. So when I pull this off, it's coming straight up. I'm not going to do any ironing. What brand of ink do I use? I use ink from inkproducts.com. It is USA made. He ships very quickly. And that's the only inks I've ever used. You can even hit this with your fingers if you want. And I just kind of comb it out. Okay, number 2. Okay, so working up again, going straight up the middle. So now the top one's still there. I'm going to leave that there. We're going to put the bottom one, the next one on. Okay, so I've got a pretty good wrinkle here. I'm going to hit that with the iron real quick with the Cricut Easy Press, okay? So I do need to move this because I want to get this out, because this is a pretty good wrinkle and I feel that it's going to crease that a little. So let's get that out of there. So I'm gonna just use my butcher paper. There we go. Just ironed it a little. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just enough to get that out and to get it nice and pressed. Where can I get these blankets? They're in my Etsy shop. I have these ones in my Etsy. All right, so let's put these down again, get these lined up, just to make sure I'm fairly even here. I'm an eyeballer. I figure if the eye sees it correctly, that's all we need, right? Okay, so let's get that off of there. All right, let me try and see these. Okay, so we tape that down, and always make sure that you see which way you're going. This one here, I should tell you, usually I stagger them and move them around. This one was not asked to be like that. They wanted this one in all one direction, so I should have stated that to you. Usually I like to do movement on my blankets, but this one did not want to be that way. This one wanted to be all straight, okay? So for the middle row, and then I'm going to send the others out the other way so that it kind of is a little different, but that's not how they wanted it. The shirts, yes, we will be doing these. The shirts, I'm going to be offering these soon, yes. We're just waiting for them to get back in stock so that we can bleach them. And I do have a method that when I do them like kind of all different directions, it looks, you know, I've kind of worked out a little method. It might even, that template might even be in the file section, I'm not sure. But she didn't want hers like that. So it's all about what the customer wants, right? Straight up the middle, and the last one for our middle row. All right, new piece of paper. So once you get this middle row done, it's fairly easy because you're just going to work the sides. And I don't work the sides long ways, I work them across now. So one on each side. That way you, it's easier to make sure your lines are correct. You could go up the sides, it's just the way that I've done it. But everybody has different preferences. I kind of like the movement in the other ones, but she didn't. So we are doing these kind of straight. Okay. And here we are, we have our middle row done. Okay, there we are. We got the middle row done. So now we're going to work across the bottom. And I am Going to do, this side's going to be facing out, this side's going to be facing out. All right. So now that we have this, it's easier for, I think, just to be able to go across each row. Okay, so we worked vertically, now we're working horizontally. All right. And let me move this over a little. And again, always make sure that this nap is down, because if not, your design gets a little funny. And make sure this is correct. I'm already messing up here. So always double check your the direction on where you're going. The one thing that I do love about when somebody wants it like, you know, the way I've designed it before, where there's more movement and each thing's going a different way, is that if you do mess up on a direction, usually it's not noticeable. And I have done that before. I'll be like, oh, I forgot to turn that. And, but, you know, most of the time only I notice it. But it happens. And I'm already liking the whip stitch edging, because I don't have that bonkiness, and the gathering on the edges where the binding was, that sometimes was a little tricky. You kind of had to pull it and stretch it and get it, your design on it. So this is nice. I don't have that bulkiness at all. It's literally laying flat. What is the name of my shop? If you go to the announcements, just click on the announcements and there's a link there. If not, you can scroll through. You'll see some posts maybe of designs or something like that. I always have my shop link there. Oh, I forgot to push that, and I do that often. I have got a few more of these to do. I have to print them out. I got a little girls one that I need to do. Actually, two girl. So I'm going to probably work on those as well today. I just need to print them out. Straight up. But when you do the blankets, my best suggestion to you is be totally prepared, meaning get all of your transfers, prints, get them all ready, get them all printed out, get them all cut nicely, have them there, because when you start your blanket, when you get started, you want to just be able to continue to go. So get all of your, I always get all of my transfers ready. I get all of my butcher paper ready. Literally, I'm just ready. I'm just pulling them and going. And it, believe me, it makes it so much quicker and so much easier to have everything ready to go. Okay, so this one's going to go outward. Yeah, see, I would have been fighting this corner if that would have still been the binded ones. No more. I'm loving these. First, I didn't know if I was going to like them or not with the whip stitch edging, but they did a nice job with it. So I'm very happy with these blankets. I just used up the other, I think I had 3 or so left, and then I just finally used those up. So this is my first one. But this Cricut Easy Press has made blankets doing so much easier. So much easier. And it was an accidental kind of finding on my part, because I was at home and I didn't want to fire up my large heat press, and I was using that for something. I don't even remember what I was using it for. And I'm like, just let me see, do you think that would work? Sure enough, it did, and it made life so much easier. So that was one of those accidental happy moments, right? As Bob Ross would call it. There's no mistakes, right? All right. And if I was doing this without talking, I'd be more focused, and this would go so quickly. I can whip out a blanket in about 25 minutes or less. Always smooth that. And another tip, when you're doing baby blankets or anything that's really like a custom design, such as birth stats and things like that, make sure, without a doubt, even after they send you all of the info, make up a copy of it, of what it's gonna look like. Not the blanket, but the birth stat itself. Get it all done right before you print it, and have them okay it. Because I'm gonna tell you, you have no idea how many times a customer has come to me and said, when I send them the ready to print, I'm ready to print this, there's the design, it's all filled in, I need you to okay, double check all the spelling, double check all of the stats. And I've had over the years probably 2 people that I can really think of that came back and said to me, that is incorrect spelling. And then I have to go back, because I have that, to show them they okayed that. Yes, I will make a new blanket for you. But yes, I might only take $5 off, because that was not an error on my part, that was an error on your part, even after you okayed it. And I will tell them that when I they okay it, and I send the printout, and I tell them this is something that is non-refundable, this is a custom order, so I need you to double check that spelling, I need you to double check all of the stats, because once I print this and get your design ready, it's non-refundable. So you want to make that clear to your customer, okay? But always get that okayed from your customer, that way, and then keep that on file. Usually, of course, mine's either in an email or a messenger, depending on what we've talked through. And I will screenshot that just in case it gets deleted by me accidentally or by them. I will screenshot that just so that I have that as a file. All right, so make sure that you cover yourself with that. Yeah, Linda, these are nice. I love these. You know, I'm all about quality. And you know, anybody can go to Walmart and pick up blankets and things like that, but I'm gonna tell you, in a bind, or if you're just starting out and you just want to get a feel on how to do them, they're great, but you can't beat the quality of these blankets. As you see, they sub so nicely. And they they wear well. All of my grandchildren, well, I should say 4 out of 7 of my grandchildren have at least one of these blankets that I've made them. And they've been washed and washed and washed, and they hold up very well. But again, I suggest not drying this, and That's another thing. If you are selling these, I always include a little note that says, you know, about don't throw them in the dryer. I'm gonna get this wrinkle out. To not throw it in the dryer, because the back kind of gets, if you know what Sherpa does when you dry it, it kind of almost seems like it maybe melts a little together and gets that nubbiness to it. So this one kind of doesn't do well with drying. Maybe on a low heat if somebody wanted to do that, but I would not suggest this on a high heat at all. Okay. So please include that with a note. And I know it's a baby blanket and it's going to get washed and it's going to get dried, but I would suggest that it be low heat, not a high heat, so that it stays soft. Now this side stays soft. It's just the Sherpa gets, as Sherpa does in the dryer, it gets weird. This quality is second to none. You're correct. All right, almost done. So as you see, I'm kind of working middle, vertical, and then horizontal, and that's how I kind of keep it to be nice. Okay, and again, always new pieces of butcher paper in between. Do not, I can't stress that enough, reuse your protective butcher paper. Okay, this is unlined or unwaxed butcher paper. You can get it at Sam's Club, GFS, which is Gordon Food Service, right online, Amazon. Get it delivered right to you. And it's like $20, $25 depending on where you get it, and you get 1,000 feet. So this is something that is a one-time use, throwaway. Don't reuse your print, because you will, and I'll show you this after I get this done. Always double check your, because I'm known for not paying attention and maybe getting something off. So butcher paper is one of these items that we don't reuse ever. And this is why. I'm sure you can see this. See how you can see that? That's on one of the used ones. This little bit of ink that's in here that you can see barely is going to transfer to your nice white bright design if you reuse it. Okay, don't take that chances. It's a one-time use. So if you're new and you've seen people do that, don't do that, please. It's not worth it for the pennies that it cost for that. And make sure you get a good heat tape. I hear horror stories all the time about people ordering heat tape off of Amazon. Not saying that every supplier on Amazon is bad, but unless you know they're trusted supplier with Sublimation, for some reason, every company that is on Amazon, if they sell a tumbler and it's a white tumbler, they mark it as Sublimation. If it's a white mug, they mark it as Sublimation. I don't know why they do that, but they do. And then you get it here and it's not. So not every heat tape is a good heat tape. I get so many people that message me and say, my heat tape is leaving brown or yellow marks. Your heat tape should not do that. I'm on bright white. it does not do that. So throw that heat tape out if that happens. I don't really order personally a lot of things off of Amazon when it comes to sublimation, just because I don't know a lot of the suppliers there. So I just go with the trusted suppliers, ones I've dealt with. Yeah, these are so nice to make for the grandkids. I've made them for all 4 of my 7. That's only because the other ones are older. Once I started sublimation, they were already older and they didn't really want them. My little granddaughter though, Mia, she is just over a year now. She carries, I have just that white minky, not the one with the sharp, but just the plain white, and she carries that everywhere. I think it's her favorite blanket. She sleeps with it. It's everywhere with her. The time and temp. I do these 400 degrees, 45 seconds. And we're on our last square. Last one. We're in the home stretch here. And yes, I love these blankets. I love that edging. No more fighting the corners. And believe me, the corners were on the ones that were binded. I mean, I learned to work with them over the years, but they were a challenge. And it took me a while to figure out how to work with them. But these ones lay nice and flat. Last one. Your grandson loves his too. He cuddles it when he's cranky. Yeah, I'm telling you, they make these in adults, and I've had them before, and I think I need to bring them back because these are nice. So I think I'm gonna do a nice buy-in, I think, for the adult ones too. So I need to get with my supplier and check and see what I can get them for, because these are nice. We have birds right outside my door here, and you know, it's nest building time for the birds, and let me tell you, they have taken advantage of, we have like a little eave that's kind of open in the building here. Every nook and cranny is filled with a bird nest, and that's all I can hear outside chirping is the birds. They are loving this weather. Okay, we are done. Look how fast. And then when I'm done, give it a good flick. Get that nap up. There it is. Look how quick and easy. Quick and easy. These are so easy with the Easy Press. Let me show you. And these wash out, the squares will wash out. You can see a little bit of the squares, but believe me, they come right out with their first washing, okay? Super easy, super. You can flick it a little bit, and it helps to bring that nap up. But I've not ever had the line stay in these once they were pressed. Once they were washed, they're totally gone. So don't be afraid of that. As you can see, they're almost all gone now. And that's just with a little bit of shaking and the lint roller, okay? Yep, I am all lined up. And this is my design as well. So if you're looking and you like that design, I have this, the blue in the boys, and I also have the pink in the girls. All right. And I'm actually working on 2 more new burst stats. I haven't done a burst stat in a while. So I have 2 more coming out. I've been working on them the last, I don't know, maybe week. And that's what I've been working on because I had some special requests for baby blankets. All right. Let me see if I can see some of these. I have the adult ones also and got to my last few squares and didn't flip it and was very noticeable. Let me tell you, Debbie, I hate that. You don't know how many times over the years I've been on my last row or my very last design, especially when I was doing these baby blankets and they had that corner, because you always finish in a corner, and I mess up the very last one. Just make you want to throw that blanket across the room. So, been there, done that, and I'm sure it'll happen again. I always hope for the best, but that doesn't mean it is. So, that's it. Matching pillow with this. There we go. And this is going to actually Some Happy Mama. And as you see, this is something her little boy, Zachary, is actually, he was born in 8/30, so August 30th, 2010. So that little boy is 11 years old, and she's just now getting a blanket made for him. And his sister's getting one too. So I'm going to be doing hers. But don't think that just because, you know, a child is just born. I've had a few that were, you know, this is the oldest one though that I've ever had, that someone's making it for a child that's a little bit older. I've already had them as old as 1, like celebrating a first birthday. That's a big time to also do the baby blankets. I do a lot of them on first birthdays. And that's it. But yeah, this is the matching one. And I also have these in the white, which it is this soft microfiber. Let me see if I can get that one back. Okay, but I do have this also, like usually for the boys, they tend to do the burlap, the linen burlap, because of the brown that matches. But a lot of times when I get the girls, they will do the white velvet that matches. So these are good to have on hand as well. So you can do them either one. But the boys usually tend to go with this. And, you know, you can always, if you're upselling, you can always offer this one if that's the one you have on hand, and just offer it. I would probably suggest that if you're going to buy a pillow cover, start with this one. And then you can add this one later if you want to. And then have it, you know, and you got the both to offer. But this is a big seller for me, this one. Okay. Another thing, too. Don't be afraid to give any of the items that you make, anything you make, give it as a gift. When I go to a baby shower, yeah, it costs me a little bit of money. I might not give a full blanket, but I always take a pillow. Always take a pillow, and I mean always. I give them for weddings, even if I'm just giving a card. And I'll tell you why, because a lot of people will come to me, people that I know. You know, we have a church, and most of the people in my church know that I make stuff, but for some reason I will get, even family, I will get people that will say, oh, I didn't know you made pillow covers, but yet they knew I made keychains, and they knew I made mugs or tumblers. And then I will always give a pillow cover, even with just a you know, a card. I just wrap it in a nice cellophane, clear, and I've done a video on that. Put it in a clear bag so that it's seen, I will tag the back of it with my shop logo, or I will put a card on the top. You know, you want to make it nice, not raunchy like you're trying to sell yourself, but yet you do want people to know that you made that. So especially at baby showers and weddings, bridal showers, because people will be like, oh, that's so cute, they got a last name on it, and yeah, I made that. So I always give these as gifts. They're inexpensive, and people always want to know that you made it. So, well, and you will get buyers for that. So I always, for gifts, I always give something I make. It doesn't always have to be everything. It could be as simple as a keychain or pillow cover. Always give your items as a gift. I have baby elephant stats, Betty. They are in birth stats. I have them, they're in my Etsy shop. So you can go in there and look for birth stats. You could probably just Google, like in the search bar in my shop, and I have some baby ones. I think I have a blue, I have a pink, I have a purple that I'm aware of. And then I have another one with like animals. All right, oh my goodness, I'm missing a lot of things. Well, missed a lot of comments. What font did I use? This is just a font that usually is standard. It's Times or Times Roman. This is just a standard font. This was no fancy font. And then I just offset it with the background so that it was, it had some black to it for the name. And then I did it here with the black to offset. Yes, I have pillow designs for weddings. All you have to do is probably in the search bar you can do like wedding, and it will. I have some with bride name. I have Mr. and Mrs. That's a big one that I always do at. That is probably my biggest design that I do. There is a design in there, Mr. and Mrs., and then you can put their last name. That's the one that I usually give for bridal showers. Or if I didn't go to the bridal shower and for the wedding, I will give that at a wedding with a card. And I usually do it on white, okay? So I do a white pillow, black lettering with their name. Always goes over very well. All right, I'm glad this blanket turned out, because it's not something I have to redo. Nothing more discouraging than when you get to a blanket and you have to redo it. Not only is it a waste of product, but it's a waste of time. So, all right, everybody. How do you keep from your tape marks from showing? I used, as you've seen, I was using that lint roller. That helps. So as soon as you take that off, leave it cool for a few seconds and then lint roll it. It really takes them the paper block away and the tape marks, as you can see. And then when you wash this, it's completely gone. But I never suggest washing anything. Okay, see, you can't really tell my tape marks. And I don't do like long strips of tape. I do a small little piece, just enough to grab the corner. All right, so you don't need to have gobs of tape on it. The least amount of tape, the better you off. That way you're not trying to fight, like you can't see any tape. All right. And get a good heat tape. Let me see. We're putting a blanket on. Well, I'll tell you this. These are not adult sized, but can they be camp lap blankets that you can market it for? Absolutely. We camp all the time, almost every single weekend during our summer. I'm usually at our camp. Would I use this as and I have used my granddaughter, so I know. Would I use this as a camp lap blanket? Absolutely, sitting around the campfire. Now this is not a blanket that you're going to be covering up in, but this is a great blanket for even, we have a lot of the adults at our church, the older adults, and they love to have lap blankets. As a matter of fact, they fold them up and they stay in their pew where they usually sit, and they will have lap blankets. So are these great for that? Absolutely. So I would market it. If you're going to do them, you could do them as a lap blanket for campfires. It's just really, it's all about marketing. Okay? These don't necessarily have to be baby blankets. Because if you think about it, even when you get a throw's 50 by 60, these are 30 by 40. So I would just say these are lap blankets if you're gonna market it to an adult. All right, everybody, I am going to get out of here. I'm gonna print more. I'm gonna be doing some baby blankets and getting some of my Etsy orders together. Usually when I do baby blankets, I will tell you this, I told you get all of your stuff in order, get everything prepared, ready, so that when you're ready to go, you're just pulling your transfers, you're putting, you know, your butcher paper. So do that. Make sure, like when I do blankets, I usually, unless I've only got like one, which is occasionally, most of the time I have 2 or 3, I'll kind of just take a day or like half a day, and I'll do all of the blankets at one time. That's what I'm gonna do today. It's just easier that way, I think. All right. All right. All right, Linda. Everybody have a great weekend. I'm thinking it's Wednesday. Isn't that crazy? Because I'm usually here on a Wednesday. So everybody have a great weekend and be blessed.